Hello there everyone and welcome back to the channel. We're here in the Performance Centre at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds, and today taking a bit of a look at some of our favourite hybrids that we've tested so far in 2023. Now I've got hybrids here, 2 Callaway ones, 2 Taylormade ones, 2 COBRA ones and a Wilson one to put through their paces today. There's obviously some notable absentees from here, the likes of Ping, Titleist, Srixon, which unfortunately we haven't been sent any product for yet. So as soon as we get those, we'll obviously review those, get them on the channel as well. But for today, I'm going to put the Paradym and Paradym X from Callaway, Stealth 2 Plus and Stealth 2 hybrid. In Cobra, we've obviously got AeroJet, but also one that many of you won't have tried, which is the King Tech hybrid, and then DynaPwr in the new Wilson hybrid there as well. So we're going to hit some on the Trackman here, talk a little bit about each one as we hit them, tell you what we think, and have a bit of a look at the numbers at the end. So hopefully we'll see which one in each brand performs the best, but also overall see which hybrid we think is the best, easiest to use, maybe the longest and the most forgiving. So let's stop talking and go hit some shots. So we're going to start our test with the Stealth 2 hybrid from Taylormade, the 3 hybrid, a club that, to be honest, I don't have a hybrid in the bag at the moment. They're generally not clubs I particularly get on with because I seem to hit them left all the time, but we're going to hit some shots with this and also the Stealth 2 Plus, as well as all the other models we mentioned. But in terms of looks, so sitting it down behind the ball, we've got that nice gloss finish on the top there. Looks great behind the ball, looks very forgiving as well. Looks like it's got a lot more loft on it than it actually has. So this 3 hybrid is down at 19 degrees. Let's have a hit with it and see exactly what we think. So when using a hybrid, players generally are looking for something that's easy to use, easy to get the ball in the air, and hopefully quite forgiving, because these are going to replace what we would have as a long iron in there. Most people can't hit a 3-iron, or it's very difficult to hit a 3-iron, maybe even 4-iron, sometimes 5 and 6-iron in the set as well. And we've obviously now got hybrids that we can replace those golf clubs with in your set and make the game a little bit easier. So hybrids are easier to launch, obviously, and that bit more forgiving. And certainly from the few shots I've hit with this so far, very easy to get in the air, feels quite nice off the face, and I'm hitting just that nice little draw shape as well. So yeah, pretty good. But let's hit a couple more. We're going to move on to the Stealth 2 Plus hybrid now, which a little bit more compact, a little bit smaller looking head. When we sit it down, it's more of that kind of peanut shaped sort of hybrid that we get to see. We should probably find this a little bit lower launching, even though it's half a degree more lofted, this one in the 3, so it's 19.5 degrees this time. Definitely sounds more solid off the head straight away. Likewise, pretty good though, quite similar to what we were seeing with the Stealth 2. Again, it still feels quite easy to use, quite easy to get the ball in the air. I think maybe the distances that we see with this, certainly just from those 2 that I've hit, are a bit more uniform in that I'm hitting them pretty much the same each time, whereas with the Stealth 2 I hit a couple that went a long way and a couple that were a bit shorter, so there's quite a bit of a variance between the longest and the shortest. But this one just seems that little bit more precise, I suppose. But let's hit a couple more. The next in our test is the Callaway Paradym, so we're going to hit a few with that. It's the more kind of standard hybrid. We'll get onto X in a minute, which is the kind of more draw bias, slightly higher launching and spinning model. But yeah, Paradym X, obviously packed with the technology, jailbreak AI in there. Looks good behind the ball. We've got this Callaway chevron on the top of it again. And I've set this at 19 degrees. So this one is standard in the 3 is 18. I've just lofted it up that 1 degree, so it's comparable to the others that we've used. In terms of looks, so behind the ball, probably of the ones we've used so far, looks the most forgiving. I would say the head looks a little bit bigger. Can certainly see those grooves on the face as well a little bit more, which is different to what we saw with Taylormade. And let's see how it performs. It feels really, really good off the face. Very easy to hit as well. Seems to have come off a bit more powerful flight-wise as well, that first one that we've hit. But let's hit a couple more. Certainly feels the quickest off the face of the 3 that we've hit so far. Don't know whether it is. I love the sound of it as well. It almost sounds like those old Callaway fairway woods used to get, like your Warbirds and your Steelheads and things like that, which I quite like the sound of as well. Yeah, I mean, I would say of the ones I've hit so far, definitely feels the best. Let's hit a few more and just see exactly how they all compare at the end. So now we're moving on to Paradym X. So as I was saying before, should be the more forgiving, should be a little bit higher launching, slightly more draw bias this head as well. So let's have a bit of a hit with it and see how it performs. Looks pretty similar, I would say, footprint wise to the standard Paradym that we saw. Maybe that little bit bigger, but doesn't look that different, to be honest. Definitely seems to fly that little bit higher than the Paradym did. I'll be interested when we see the figures. And it's much easier to turn over and get it going left. So for those of you that maybe struggle with a bit of a slice, Paradym X could be a little bit easier for you to use than the standard Paradym. So the next in our test is the Wilson DynaPwr Hybrid, the 3 Hybrid, 19 degree. Again, let's put it through its paces, but in terms of looks behind the ball, I would say it looks really, really nice. Quite a classic. Love the paint job on the top. Certainly feels very good off the face as well, really powerful. It's a real crunch off the face when you hit it. It really feels very, very good. I love the feel of the Callaway, more of that metallic kind of old school sort of sound that you'd associate with Callaway. This one, more of a modern, almost a carbony kind of crack when you hit it, which I quite like. So the next one is COBRA AeroJet, so let's have a hit with this. I've loved the fairway woods and drivers that we've tried in these, and I'd guess the hybrids are going to be fantastic as well. So in terms of the way it sits behind the ball, we've got that kind of gloss finish now on the top of it, with the C Crown Cobra logo just on the top there. Again, looks very, very good. Again, feels a bit more solid off the face than some that we've tried. More of that kind of dull kind of feel when we hit it. Easy to get the ball in the air. It'll be interesting to see which one of these goes the highest or is the easiest to launch, but this one certainly feels quite easy to get in the air. So the final one today that we're going to use is the King Tech Hybrid from Cobra. We've got some movable weights in here. I tend to hit that bit of a hooky shot when I hit hybrid, so what I've actually done here is move the weights more to the back and the toe of the hybrid here, to hopefully almost make it a little bit more fade bias, so we should see less of those shots going left. And that's another thing with this hybrid that just makes it maybe stand out from the rest, is that adjustability factor in there. So let's hit a few shots with it now, but in terms of its looks, it's more of a matte paint finish we see on the top of this now, so in quite stark contrast to AeroJet that was really high gloss finish. This one now, we've got that matte, we've still got the C Crown logo on the top of it. Felt pretty good off the face. It's certainly got that more fairway wood kind of feel when we hit it, which I quite liked. Feels very, very good off the face. Kind of a bit of a mixture between a couple, really. You've still got that metallic kind of sound, but the feel is actually quite solid when you hit it, which I like. There's certainly lots of feedback in there. And like I say, seems to perform more like a fairway wood rather than a hybrid. I would say of all the ones we've hit so far, feel, this one wins hands down. It's awesome. Be great to see when we look at the numbers in a second, which one performs the best. But I think more to do with the fact that I could move the weights a bit, that this one was easier to hit straight, felt like it came off the face pretty quick, and the flights hitting them on the Trackman there look pretty damn good, to be honest. But let's take a bit of a look at the numbers. Now that we've had a chance to hit all 7 of our hybrids, we can take a bit of a look at the data here. Cobra, so the Tech hybrid that we hit there, felt amazing, and also the standard Paradym were the kind of 2 that, for me, just felt a bit easier to hit straight, but also just felt like they came off the face a little bit faster. And certainly when we're looking at this, particularly the Paradym backs that up. So we look at that there, we've got 244 carry, 262 total. So We've got quite a bit of run there for a hybrid, which potentially isn't what you want this club to do. So it's nearly 20 yards of run on it, which is probably a little bit more than we'd like. Spin's quite low. So if it's a club that you're going to use off the tee a lot, it could be absolutely fantastic. If it's one that you're hitting into a green and wanting to stop, it's probably not going to work quite as well as you'd like, certainly on the basis of what I've seen. Whereas in contrast to that, we can see the King Tech hybrid stops a little bit quicker, about 5 yards quicker. In terms of the distance, 255, which for a hybrid is still very, very good. But when we look at the others, so we can see for some reason, I don't know why, but the ball speeds were a bit slower with the Taylormade ones that we hit. When we look at the Paradym X compared to each other, we can see Paradym X is doing exactly what it's supposed to. Spins a bit more, launch is a little bit higher, and the peak height is a bit higher as well than we see with Paradym. DynaPwr, very good, really nice high flight, Distance-wise, keeps up with the rest. Spin-wise, it's pretty good as well. And again, felt fantastic off the face. When we move into AeroJet, again, performed really nicely, but it's not quite as good for me as the King Tech was. And I think it's more due to the fact that I can get that almost fade bias kind of feel and look to it. I also prefer that matte finish on the top of the Tech one as well. Altogether, I would say it's been great to test all of those, but make sure if you're looking for a hybrid, you need to go get properly fitted for it. You know, I've had the chance here to tweak the lofts around, make them a bit more fade bias in some instances, and also play with a few different shafts as well. So make sure you go to a proper fitter or a fitting day where you can try all these different variations and make sure that you walk out with the hybrid for you. But on the basis of this, which one would I choose if I was going to use one? I think it would probably be the King Tech hybrid from Cobra. It just looked, for me, the best, felt the best, and the distance was very, very good and quite controllable. Keep watching all of our content here on the Golfshake YouTube channel to help you play more and play better, and we'll see you all again next time.